Hey up, hey! Welcome. Just out with Gazza on his brand spanking new Suzuki V-Strom 800DE in that there beautiful black and blue colour scheme with the gold wheels and forks. Cracking, right. You see everything behind me on this here Aiuchi TFT. Just to remind you, this thing does TPMS, Apple CarPlay, GPS, telephony, text, WhatsApp, music, and video recording. That's me. Pleased to meet you.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. We're just going up to Scar House.
Going where?
Scar House.
Yeah,
I'm just out with VFR Mitch.
There, yeah. Up to the reservoir?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to do a bit of a comparison between the two bikes. He's just got a new V-Strom.
How's it going? Alright. How's it going?
But touch wood.
Very good.
Spot on, yeah.
Nice looking bike.
Yeah. They're alright, aren't they?
She's big. She's big.
Yeah, bigger than you think.
Put this off, I can't get up. Ah, they're a big bike, aren't they?
Get a lot for your money.
They do. Really beautiful bike. Everything, isn't it?
You want one? You got to wait for.
Hey?
You're gonna have to wait till May if you want one. Always good to meet a subscriber when out and about. Yeah, this Aiuchi system here, as we can see, clear view behind. One of its many attributes. If you want one of these, it's not going to cost you much more than about 130 quid, which is an absolute bargain considering the amount of operability that you get with it. If you go through the affiliate link in the description below, you get 22% off with the promotional code TBW22, and that should bring it in UK pound sterling around about 130 quid, give or take, which is a steal when you consider some of the other stuff's costing 300, 400, 500 quid. And a beautiful day, I have to say a beautiful autumnal day, because we are past the autumn equinox by a few days. Now apparently the equinox was on Sunday the 22nd, the autumn equinox, but that wasn't exactly equal day and equal night. Equal day and equal night was on the Tuesday, and that apparently is called the equilux. The equilux, not the equinox. Every day's a school day on this channel, my nose. And as I've said many times before on this channel in relation to this bike, the first thing that impresses you is its comfort. And between the suspension, these excellent Metzler Crew 4 tyres, the riding position and the seat, superb levels of comfort. And the second thing that impresses you is the amount of shove from this engine. And let me tell you, at a certain RPM, when you wind the throttle back on this engine, this beautiful 800cc parallel twin, There is a bark from the exhaust equal to any an Akrapovic or a Krapovic or a Kropovic or whatever you want to call it. Sounds awesome. And the third thing, well, it's two things in one really, but the third thing that really impresses you when you first clap eyes on this bike or first ride this bike is its looks and its fit and finish and build quality. Very impressive indeed. Looks very much like an adventure bike costing twice the money. Shows no signs whatsoever of being built to a particular price. Oh, and handles like a dream on these here tight twisty bends. And of course, as I said earlier, to get things like crash bars and spotlights and cruise control, quick shifter, all as standard, pretty impressive. I'm just going to pull in here because these two cars in front are just pissing me off. Sorry guys, but pissing me off. I'm just going to wait for them to go, they're spoiling my view. So yeah, we're sort of posing the question. Say you've got £8,000–9,000 to spend on a brand new bike. Who out there would go for this bike with all the things that come as standard? And which of you out there would go for the Suzuki V-Strom and then accessorise it to the same level of spec? I think the only thing you couldn't accessorise on the Suzuki to spec it up to the same level of this bike is cruise control, but I believe there is an aftermarket electronic cruise option for a lot of bikes. So I'm not too sure about that. Maybe you could. I'm guessing that won't be at all cheap. But so which would you do? Would you buy this bike, this 800cc adventure bike, or that there Suzuki 800cc adventure bike? Which would you go for? So what you're getting as standard in the price on this here bike is, as I said, the crash bars, the spotlights, quick shifter, cruise control. You did get the luggage as well chucked in, but not anymore. Yeah, or would you go for the Suzuki and then just, you know, add those bits and bats over a period of time? How beautiful is this? Now don't get me wrong, I'm obviously going to concede the obvious at this point, which is that the Suzuki is a long established, well trusted name associated with build quality and reliability and great engines. And that 800cc parallel twin is a fantastic engine. I reviewed the bike last year, it really impressed me. Bags and bags of torque where it matters. Fantastic engine. Great looking bike in my opinion as well. But of course, a long established and trusted name, Suzuki. But all I would say is cast your mind back as to why the likes of Honda, Suzuki, Kawasaki and Yamaha, the four big Japanese brands, cast your mind back to how they first got a foothold on the process of establishing those credentials. And they started where these bikes have started now, albeit that the Japanese bikes sort of started in the early 70s really to gain a foothold, and by the sort of mid 80s, certainly early 90s, had secured that enduring reputation for build quality and reliability. And the CF Motos of this world, the Vosges, the Moto Marinis, the Benellis, are right at the vanguard of that process again. Similar story, bikes made in the Far East, and coming to market and having to establish their credentials. Now look, I must have given these plenty of time to get away. Why are we doing 20 miles an hour on a 60 mile an hour road? It's not 30 anymore up here. Probably enjoying the scenery, which is fair enough, but spoiling our fun, dear viewer, spoiling our fun. Of course, it's a completely unreasonable thing, isn't it? Just to hold people in cars that you've never met in your life and don't know, probably perfectly reasonable, decent people. But if you're like me, on days like this, a small part of your brain holds them in absolute contempt. Hey! I'm just thinking, oh, I wish there weren't any bloody cars on the road. And then next day I'll go to shops and I'll jump in a car to do it. Right, okay, so here we are up at Scarhouse Reservoir at the top of the Nid Valley, and got VFR Mitch here and me, the Bingley Wheeler, and we've each got ourselves a mid-weight adventure bike, recently acquired and for about the same price point, 8.5 grand give or take. So if this is by way of a bit of, it's not an exact science, it's a bit of rough and ready science by way of comparison of the two bikes, i.e. the new kid on the block, the Chinese-made CF Moto 800 MT range, and the long-established Suzuki mark with this there tried and trusted V-Strom range, on this particular occasion in the guise of the 800DE, which is the more off-road focused of the V-Strom 800 range, 21-inch front wheel, sport wheels, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at both bikes, a bit of an unscientific comparison, and I think we'll start with Gazza, and he can show us around his new bike and show us also what accessories is fitted post-purchase. So let's kick off by having a look at this here cracking looking V-Strom. Right, so VFR Mitch here, Gazza, going to take you around his bike. As you can see there, it's in the fantastic black and blue colour scheme with the gold wheels and gold forks, which to my mind is the best. I mean, when I eventually got to take this bike out, I was convinced the best colour scheme was the blue and yellow one, but now I've seen this one in the flesh, absolutely, this is the smartest colourway that this particular model of bike's available in. So, right, Gazza, take us around your bike.
Right, basically, this is the Suzuki V-Strom 800DE, launched, I believe, in 2023. It's got the new parallel twin engine. I think it's 776cc, and it's, I believe, the first and only production bike in the world currently that runs twin balancer shafts in the engine. So that's a bit of information.
Twin balancer shafts?
Twin balancer shafts.
That would count for its smoothness, eh?
And that's the only bike, production bike in the world, I believe, at the moment that's got that.
Right, didn't know that.
It's got a 17-inch rear wheel on it.
Tubed?
Yeah, it is tubed.
The tubed on these, yeah.
That's the only thing. I am going to be performing a conversion on this bike on the channel.
Right, watch out for that, folks, on his channel.
So it's going to be coming, a tubeless conversion. It's got a 21-inch front wheel on it, again spoked. These bikes had a bit of an issue in 2024 where they've got a worldwide recall on them, and they weren't allowed to sell them, and that was down to the rear tyre made by Dunlop, the Dunlop Mix Tour, having a very, very small issue with a limited number of them delaminating. So this bike was recently purchased and it had to have the tyres changed.
Right.
But because it was pre-registered, they could put on what they wanted.
And they look like Metzler Torrents, have they?
Metzler Torrences, which I've never had them before, but they're a decent tyre.
Great tyre. I had them on the GS. Great tyre.
It's a very tall bike. I'm 6'4". I'm just going to sit on it.
Yeah. Right, so you're a good 3 inches taller than me, pal.
I'm 6'4" and I can only just flat foot this bike.
It is a tall bike, yeah. So I romp balls on my feet with it.
It's something like 850, 855 is the seat height, which is tall. Yeah, it's decent position there. Even on the back there's plenty of room as well. The only thing I've had to change on this so far, they come with a really, really small, the DE one comes with a really, really small windscreen on it. It's about that big.
Yeah.
And obviously off-roading you don't want a big windscreen because you're going to be headbutting the damn thing. So it's got a little screen on there, and to be fair, for a little screen it actually does a superb job.
Yeah.
I had it in my mind that for longer distances and higher speeds I might buy an additional taller screen, which is the Puig or Puig touring screen with adjustable aerofoil that comes up or down by about 4 inch on the top. I'm still to find a sweet spot on that one, and it's actually giving me muckier air than the tiny Suzuki screen, so I might end up putting a Suzuki screen back on unless I can get to grips with this. So
it looks the part though.
It does look the part. Grip puppies, there is a little bit of vibration at about 5,000 RPM, which is well documented on other YouTube channels. You can feel it a little bit through the pegs, and if you're susceptible to feeling vibration through the bars, I'm not normally, but this is the first bike I've felt it, so I'll normally put grip puppies on anyway. So I just had to make sure I got them on quick, just to save any numbness in the throttle hand.
And you've got the quick shifter as standard?
Quick shifter as standard. Now that is an absolute dream. I've never had a bike with a quick shifter. It goes up the gearbox like silk.
Yeah.
Down, not so much so. You need to get the hang of it. Not saying it's bad. Certain bikes go up really well through the range.
Sure.
And I think BMWs go down really well. So it depends. Not many do both brilliantly. It's got Epco crash bars on there. I had them imported from Germany. They're substantial things.
They are a must on any bike for me, our crash bars.
And Suzuki, if you just want to come around this side slightly there, you better see that's one of the fixing points there. Suzuki actually put 3 fixing bosses in the bike, one up there, one there and one there, which are spare bosses in the frame. They are designed primarily to fit the Suzuki or aftermarket engine bars. So you're not taking engine bolts out, you're not getting car jacks and bits of wood underneath your engine, trying to keep your engine in place while whipping a 12-inch bolt out of the thing. You leave everything as it is, get the kit that comes with the bolts, and I'm not kidding, that were in and Loctited on in under 5 minutes.
Crikey.
Both sides. Fantastic.
I have never fit engine bars in anything under an hour.
Yeah, really, really good.
Cracking.
The brakes are really good on it. Surprisingly, it's got a double stacked headlight, little tiny LED unit.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah.
They're actually the
light.
best headlight I've had on any bike.
Right, right.
And the main beam's really good as well. I am going to put some additional lighting on there, and that's going to be an accessory light either on there or there, but I think there's too close to the indicators. And yeah, I've got a thing about not wanting lights near indicators because it detracts from the visibility. Comes with a plastic belly pan as standard. Now under that belly pan is actually a steel frame. The RE, the road version, doesn't have all the bracing underneath. The D's actually got bracing built in underneath the belly pan. So yeah, it's plastic, but it's got a metal black little small bash plate underneath.
Sure.
Just to protect the bottom of the engine and the
Are you
cap.
thinking of upgrading that at all?
Yes, I'm currently trying to contact, and I'm in contact with a company called SRC of Thailand.
SRC.
SRC tend to do a lot of the new gear for the CF Moto 450s.
Right.
They're also doing a lot for the GSs at the moment. That's why they're busy not answering me.
Yeah.
They are opening an Instagram page in the UK shortly, because I've been communicating with a guy that's doing it in Thailand.
Okay. That'll
So
be interesting.
I'm after an SRC black bash plate, please.
SRC. Anybody got any contacts with SRC? We'd like a Suzuki V-Strom 800D bash plate, please.
They are available in America. I've seen a couple of people fit their bar. I did want their bars, top and bottom bars, but to get them and the bottom plate as a kit, it's 650 quid plus shipping from America.
Right.
And that's a bit rich, plus taxes.
Taxes,
and import duties.
import duty, handling charges.
So, yeah, I've waited off as long as I could. I've gone for the Hepco and Becker bars, which are the discreet. That's why I like these. They are a discreet,
They are smart.
compact bar.
And of course, Hepco and Becker right up there in the sort of pantheon of aftermarket accessories. German, yeah?
German, yeah.
Yeah. Hepco and Becker and SW Motec, isn't it, really?
Yeah. The bike came with, or this one came with, there was a deal going on in mid to late August-ish 2024, which would just passed. They might still be doing it because they can't sell these. The list price on them is not too much, it's just that other bikes are available for less money with more kit on.
Yeah.
So what Suzuki have been doing, and Honda were doing the same. Honda were doing with the Transalp, £700 worth of free accessories.
Yeah.
Suzuki were giving you free bars and side boxes, which are SW Motec and worth about 1,400 quid.
Yeah.
So this bike does have two-piece luggage. I've just not got the panniers on.
Yeah, I'm the only 3-box wanker here, but I've explained why that is before. So
Yeah.
yeah, so you've got basically proper top quality aluminium boxes
Suzuki branded by SW Motec.
in with the deal.
In with a deal. Unfortunately, they ran out of black boxes. I really would have liked some black boxes
Yeah, I
on
can
it.
see why. Yeah.
But the silver ones do look very good on it, to be fair with you. And all in, on the road, brand new, 0 mileage, out of the box, built up. It was pre-registered.
Yeah, but it was a brand new bike.
But it was in the box, 0 miles, 8.5 grand with luggage.
Right, so that bike, 8.5 grand with luggage, and my bike, 8.5 grand with luggage. Yeah, okay, so with the CF Moto you get the top box as well, but even so, that is a cracking deal. As Gaz has just been saying, this bike, it's not an ex-demonstrator, it's not anything like that, pre-registered, but built straight out of the box, brand spanking new. Right folks, so my CF Moto 800 MT, I've got just over 2,000 miles on this bike now, and I've done one or two little bits and bats with it, but basically what I got for my £8,500 spend on this bike as standard were the crash bars upper and lower, integrated spotlights, 3-piece luggage, which is basically a Chinese direct copy of SW Motec, and every bit as good, I might add, in terms of quality. 3-piece luggage, top box with backrest, side boxes, cruise control as standard, quick shifter, all in at £8,500 when I bought this bike. If you want one of these bikes now, the 800 MT, or you want the new 450 MT, you'll have to wait until about spring of next year, because they've been literally flying off the shelves, particularly in mainland Europe. So obviously a lot of people after these bikes. So yeah, that's what I got as standard. What I've added to this bike since I've got it basically is some AliExpress handguards. The handguards on the Suzuki come as standard. To get them as standard on this bike, you need to get the Tour model or the Explore model. This is the entry-level sport model, but these weren't expensive at all, so I've added these. I've added a bash plate at the bottom there, again courtesy of AliExpress, and can't argue with the quality, very straightforward to fit. No hammering or filing or fettling or anything of that nature, so I've added that. I've added the AOC or AUCI TFT, TPMS video recorder and Apple CarPlay system that I've shown you several times. Link in the description below, go through that link, 22% off courtesy of me. What else have I put on? Having to think now. I've swapped the tyres over. The tyres that come on standard with this bike are Maxxis tyres, perfectly good. But I wanted to be able to come on sort of grassy, gravelly, off-road type areas like this. So these are the Metzeler Crew 4 tyres, and they are absolutely superb. To talk about the engine, because we did on Gazza's bike, so it's a 800cc parallel twin, 799cc's to be precise. Parallel twin, liquid cooled, double overhead cam engine. It's the KTM engine. Let's not get into all the urban myths around chocolate camshafts and all the rest of it. We've done that to death. See previous episodes. But it's a really, really feisty engine. It's mapped slightly differently to the Suzuki, and the surging power comes around about 4,000 RPM and above, when it really is an absolute flying machine. Fantastic engine, and when the revs are up, it smooths out incredibly well, yet in lower rev levels it's got an awful lot of parallel twin character to it. Comes with an adjustable screen, that's fine for me. I'm 6'1", that works fine even on its lower setting. Let's have a look at me on the bike then. It's a lower seat, it's 830mm on this bike. I'm 6'1" with a sort of 32 tougher 33-inch inseam, and I can flat foot on this bike, not a problem. The seat's adjustable, it's in its lower position at the moment. It will notch up one by a couple of centimetres, and it's really, really comfortable. The suspension up front on these bikes is fully adjustable for compression, damping and rebound. And the rear suspension, single shock absorber and coil is adjustable for preload only. And I don't know what else to say about this bike other than so far so very good, and an awful lot of bang for your buck. The only thing that I can say substantially that this bike has to offer over the Suzuki is it coming with cruise control as standard. I think that's the only thing really, otherwise they're pretty identical in terms of spec. So yeah, so it comes back to a personal decision at the end of the day, whether or not you want to buy a classic well-established bike like the Suzuki V-Strom and accessorise it up to whatever level that you want, or whether you want to have everything included from day one on the advertised price point with the dealership. So it's a matter of individual choice, but in terms of what they do and how they do it, pretty much identical, these bikes, and it comes down to whether or not you're going to take a chance on the new kid on the block, or whether you're going to go for the safe option, which is the well-established Suzuki brand. Aye, so there's a comparison between the Chinese offering and the Japanese offering. Right folks, that's it for today. Thanks for watching this far, if indeed you have. It's just been a little rough science comparison of the CF Moto 800 MT and the Suzuki V-Strom 800DE. For your greater edification, if either of these bikes is on your radar. Okay, so myself and VFR Mitch here are gonna wend our way over the top of the world down into Massam for a pot of steam, and it only remains for me to say, basically, as always, until the next time, and in the meantime, ride safe, be kind, and I'll see thee. You've got to decide what it is you want, and whether you want to accessorise or whether you want to buy a bike with everything coming as standard with the bike at the fucking hell, I can't even speak today. Start again.